life here is the closest to hell that I will get. It's not about what I get to do or what I have to do here. It's about where I get to be in the future. And that cascaded an entire shift of how I view my relationship with the Lord.
Growing up in the faith that I grew up, if something like this came along, it was because there was a sin in your life, and this was God's punishment for that sin. So I spent probably 2 years looking back over my life, thinking, are the things that I did, are they so bad that this is the punishment for them?
Because the disabilities were hidden, that in order for them to truly fulfill their destinies, they had to be healed. That's obvious if the disability is overt, that's not right. It was a subconscious belief. I didn't realize I had the belief. But if they were born missing a leg or an arm, I would never think that they couldn't fulfill their destinies because of the disability. But because it was a mental health issue, in some respects, it felt like they had to be healed in order to enter into the fullness of their destinies. And I was so wrong.
I do think that particular period in time was a time for me to deepen my faith, because I had to be the one that stood in the gap for the first time in our relationship. While he was angry and throwing things at God, I was digging in deeper and finding that solitude and that peace with God in all of this. That okay, this is bad, but finding that, I don't know how to put it, that trying to find the bigger picture. That's and just realizing that it's out of my hands, no matter how I slice it. So I may as well just have faith.
Someone can be bipolar and manage it with excellence and fulfill their destiny. Somebody can have obsessive compulsive disorder and manage it and fulfill their destinies. Absolutely, people can have autism. I don't even consider that a mental illness. I consider it a neurological difference. But I had to come to an understanding of these things and surface these subconscious beliefs that were wrong and they were damaging.
And it was this revelation, realizing that even though God had the power and had the authority to end his son's suffering, he loved me so much that he didn't. I don't know I could do that. So that was kind of Peyton was probably almost 3 years old. And that was really the turning point for me that helped me to realize that, what? If God can look at his son and watch his son experience everything that his son experienced, then I can do this.
I think for me personally, as a mother, you think, my children, these are my children and I take care of them and I keep them alive, that sort of thing. And with Abigail, it was very much, there were some really hard, shaky moments where, her life was not a guarantee. And I remember some moments holding her in the ER, and just walking back and forth with her as she's struggling to breathe, thinking, oh God, there's just nothing else I can do. There's nothing else I can do. Her life is literally in your hands. And I just, that was something that I never thought that I would have to deal with, putting that much trust. You never think about putting that much trust in God. Your child's life, trusting. And that, I don't know before that point with the other kids if I had ever really put that much trust in God with my children's lives. And that was, challenging.